Hey there, Michelle. How's everything today?
Hello, Lindsay. I feel like we're both having kind of crazy mornings, don't you think?
We really are. I brought my dog to the vet this morning and he went crazy, and you had
Oh.
some debacle with the doctor and craziness.
Baby sickness and
Yes.
childcare and I
And
I sent Lindsay a text this morning. I can't record, and then 20 minutes later I said actually I can record,
yeah,
and
we
it's
just,
like
oh, it's craziness. And now we have a
yeah.
wolfman in the house, and my dog is about to
Oh my
be on the
god.
microphone. He'll be a star pretty soon here. So far, so good. But
That's great. Well, oh my gosh. Well, I feel like we were both like happy to kind of just like be flexible with each other and work this all out so we could record for our listeners.
Michelle, flexibility is the key. I mean, it helps that we actually really enjoy,
Yeah.
recording because we just want to make it work.
Yes.
Because we love this show. And so, yeah, I'm usually happy to be pretty flexible with things and kind of move in and out of stuff. And we just make it work in the end. Yeah, I love
We do.
it.
We
Yeah.
do. Yeah. So guys, well, we are actually, I don't know if you noticed, Lindsay and I are throwing about around this expression, I'm happy to, I'm happy to.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about this because on the Business English podcast, episode 115,
Hmm.
that was teamwork English skills for business success. So guys, if you don't know this, we have another podcast called the Business
Yes.
English Podcast. And this is a great way to prepare for business things in your life. We know that you guys are global professionals, so there's so much to learn. So we're 3 days a week over on that podcast, right, Lindsay?
Yes, it's 100%. It's a great show, guys. So go open your search bar, search for Business English. You'll see the big yellow cover art and hit follow on that show. And make sure you're following this one too, so that it just drops right into your queue every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But
That's right.
today's episode, Michelle, is going to be good for our listeners. It is definitely a native skill to be able to say this. I'm happy to do something. Let's talk about
That's
it.
right. Yeah. So on that episode of Business English 115, we were talking about dividing up work, school projects, teamwork. Listen to that definitely. And we were using this expression, "I'm happy to," and that was for splitting up work. And it was kind of used like this: "I'm happy to start with X. Do you want to do Y?" So
Mhm.
Lindsay, what did that sound like?
Yeah. So I'm happy to start with X. Do you want to should I throw in an example? I'm happy to start
Yeah.
with the pictures.
Yes.
Do you want to do the charts? Right. So there we're grabbing some work and we're saying, I'll do this. Would you
hmm
like to do that? Right. Sounds
hmm
professional. It sounds giving, right? You want to feel like you're pulling your weight at work or in life. Right.
Mhm, mhm.
For
And
sure.
but what was interesting was kind of while we were using that, we realized that there's more to discuss with this phrase. So that
Yes.
happens a lot of times. Sometimes we just get an idea
Yeah.
from another episode, and because I mentioned that, sometimes I feel funny saying this, and I don't know why. If there's a reason,
Why?
so we're gonna,
Interesting.
yeah, we're gonna talk about this today and our thoughts, opinions, and teach you guys how to use it. Because do you think it's common, Lindsay, to say, "Oh, I'm
I
happy
think
to
it's
do this"?
pretty common. And
Yeah.
I'm also thinking for our listeners, maybe if you guys are not necessarily working, I could see this for like a parent carpool, which I'm sure you'll get into
Mm.
in a couple of years, Michelle, pretty soon.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of Aubrey driving around all her kids, right? And then
Yeah.
the other kids, and oh, I'm happy to do Friday if you can do Tuesday.
Mhm. Mhm,
Right. So it's
mhm.
really just great for work, life, community building, that kind of thing, sharing
Yeah.
responsibilities. But I'm wondering why you feel funny about it.
Yeah,
What
I
is
don't
it?
know. Well, I mean, let's talk. We'll get into it, but like,
Okay.
I don't know when you. But basically, when you say "I'm happy to X," it's like offering, suggesting, like Lindsay said, saying you're good with doing something. It's like a
Yeah.
different way of saying "I'll do this." Like
Yeah.
it seems a little bit more polite. I think it shows a sense of eagerness or just being willing to help. So in that
Yeah.
way, it's very nice.
Yeah. Exactly. But maybe there's another side to it, but we'll see. We'll see. And I would say that personally, I do use this. I think it's good for work, good for social life. I'm trying to think. Yeah, when we, take care of other people's dogs, like we'll do
hmm
like dog swaps, right? If we go away for a weekend, someone will take Kiefer and then we'll take their dog. We're happy to take care of Pip. That's our friend's
hmm
dog's name. Pip is his name. He's this little cute little dog with an underbite. So cute.
Aww.
We're happy to take care of Pip. If you can take Kiefer, it is sometimes maybe what you're getting at, Michelle, is that it signals a bit of a like a transaction. It's transactional. Like I'll do this if you do that. Is
Yeah.
that what you mean? That you feel funny?
I don't know what it is. I had explored this idea. Now I kind of lost it. Like, why is it that sometimes I feel funny when I say it? I guess you know what? I was thinking maybe it sounds like a little insincere.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Like I don't know, just a little bit formal. Like
A little
I feel
formal.
like I feel like maybe it can sound like okay, let's say I am not really happy to do something, especially
Yeah.
but I'm offering and I use that. I just feel sometimes a little bit fake and I don't
Mhm.
know why, but it's just saying like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I'm happy to do this." Like
Yeah.
I don't know. It just
Yeah.
feels sometimes insincere to me. I don't know why, but
Sure.
it's so common and I don't think people take it as that way.
No, for sure. Let's give some more examples. What do you think?
Mhm,
What
mhm.
else can we use it in? What do you think?
Okay. Well, so you can say happy to help, right?
Mhm.
So this is you could say I'm happy to help, but don't you think people also just cut off the I'm and they
Oh,
just say
yeah.
happy to help?
Oh, for sure. And that's kind of often used when someone has said thank you to you more than anything. Rather than
Mhm.
volunteering to take on that task on the front end, it's more on the back end. And this role play is perfect. So, should we
Mhm.
do it,
Mhm.
Michelle? Real
Let's
quick?
do it.
Okay. Thanks so much. That really made my day easier.
Oh, happy to help, Lindsay.
Yeah, so that one's easy. I don't feel any funniness about saying that
No.
because that's nice. Like that's when you have already helped someone and you want to it just feels good. It's a nice exchange there, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly, exactly. I don't know, maybe it's just me. It's just it's not
Yeah.
all the time, but every once in a while I say it and then I feel funny and it's just a silly Michelle thing I get. But anyway, so there's another thing people might say is I'm happy to hear that. So that's when there's hearing good news. So
Yep.
for example, I finally got to relax this weekend.
Oh, I'm happy to hear that. Yeah. Okay. So happy to help, happy to hear that. So kind of starting with happy to do X or something X, right?
Mhm.
Yes. Okay, Michelle. What else do we need to know here?
All right. So we also just one more have I'd be happy to do something. So this is
Mhm.
kind of what we went over already, but you can also say I'd instead of I'm. I
Right.
would be happy to. So for example, can you help me with those boxes?
I'd be happy to. Right?
Mhm.
So it's I would be happy to, or as we said earlier in the episode, I'm happy to. What is the
Mhm.
difference, Michelle, when we say I'd be happy to versus I'm happy to?
I feel I'm happy to can be, like I'd be happy to. You wouldn't say that afterwards.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Right.
You wanna say like, "Oh,
Absolutely.
thanks for doing that. I'd be happy to." No. That's
Okay.
for
That's a good
that's
point.
for more for the future,
Yeah.
for like a future thing that might happen.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm happy to, or happy to help, that could be at the end, or if like, let's say you're saying, "Oh, could you do this for me later?" And I said, "Sure," and you say, "Thank you." I say, "Oh, happy to help," even though it's still in the right, like, it's still
Mhm.
before the action takes place. We've already made this agreement that I'm going to do that, so you're thanking me. So the I'd be happy to is more when you're being asked.
Yes. And I think, when it comes to accepting it on the front end, both
Mhm,
are fine, right? I'm happy to,
mhm.
will you, someone or just someone needs to go pick up the dog at the vet. Oh, I'd be happy to, or I'm happy to.
I'm
Both are
happy to, yeah.
interchangeable in that scenario, right, Michelle?
Yes. That's true,
Yes.
that's true, good point.
Okay, I love it. So, guys, there's some nuances here for sure, but what we're communicating here is openness, kind of an eagerness, or
Mhm.
just wanting to, I think human beings really have this, even though we don't want to be transactional, it's the reciprocity effect, right? And we keep
Mhm.
things in mind. It's not so much we're always scheming like, "Oh, I did this for you, you need to do something." But I think it's built into our brains as human beings and goes way back to evolution that when someone has done something nice for us, we want to come back and do something for them. It's
Right.
very hardwired into us as humans. So this will
Yeah.
help you do that, guys. Yeah.
That's right, that's right. Yeah, and I think for that, like what you're saying, it shows that this can bring about connection
Ooh.
because it just, that idea that you're willing to help, that you're eager, that you're happy to. And I think it's interesting how the word happy, because it's kind of an informal sounding word, just happy, it's
Yeah.
it can kind of have an elevated tone when you use it in this expression. So you can use that at work. And it's, formal sounding or informal
Yeah.
sounding. So
Yeah.
either is good.
I love it. So let's give our listeners a little role play to finish up today's episode. So today, Michelle, we are planning a trip, and this is a place where it is really good, especially if you're taking a trip with friends, to be able to jump in and say, I'd be happy to do this if you'll do that, right?
Exactly.
Um,
Yes.
yeah.
So here we are. We're friends planning this trip. Let's
All
go.
right. Okay. So I'm happy to look up the hotels in the area.
Okay, that would be great.
I think I can get us some discounts.
Oh, I'm happy to hear that.
Can you call about the car rental?
I'd be happy to.
Oh man, Michelle, when you travel with Dan, does he do most of the planning or do you share it pretty well?
He does most of it. What about for you
Yeah,
guys?
I'm guilty of that too.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
guilty of that too, unfortunately. I just show up often.
yeah, oh, me too. And then I get there and I'm like, oh, where are we? Like, what?
It's so bad. I need to get better at that, really. I mean, when your partner's really good at planning
Yeah.
trips, that, they enjoy it and then they want to do it, but then it can get overwhelming, right?
That's so funny.
So
That's why sometimes I feel like you and I are very similar, like in more ways than we even realize. Like whenever
yeah, I
it's
know.
always happens that we feel the same way about something or we
Mhm.
take on a certain role. But yeah, I
Yeah,
feel
it's funny.
it's so, I was just thinking about that on our trip. Like, why do I do
Yeah.
nothing?
Yeah, I know. It's something I really want to change.
Yeah.
But anyways, to be
All right.
revisited. We'll come back to
Yes.
this.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do an episode about something around pulling your weight or something. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Or when the two of us are going on another trip,
Yeah,
we should like challenge each other to do some of the planning and do an episode about that.
I know. Or Michelle, you and I should not take a trip together because no one
No,
would
we wouldn't be
plan.
going anywhere.
We
We
wouldn't
would
go
just be
anywhere.
we would barely make it to the airport.
For
Like,
sure. All right, let's go back through this role play here for our
okay.
listeners. So I said, okay, I'm happy to look up the hotels in the area. And this is where I'm just throwing it out there. We know we're planning a trip. And so I'm volunteering to do the first thing. Right.
And then you said you could get us some discounts. So I said, I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah. And then finally I said, can you call about the car rental? Right. And so I'm asking you to do something. And you said, I'd be happy to. Right.
Mhm.
So yeah, good stuff. Well, what's the takeaway for today, Michelle? What do we think? How do we want to leave our listeners? Planning a trip,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. Well, we hope everyone can take a trip sometime soon. But basically, I think I want to leave you guys with this is that this is all about connection, right?
Yeah.
And this eagerness to show you're willing to help. Don't listen to me about feeling funny about it. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Like, even as I talk through it, I'm still like, it happens only in very specific moments where I say
Yeah.
it and then I feel funny saying it.
Right.
I
Right.
still have to, once that comes up, maybe I'll
Come
do a
back.
follow
Report
up.
back to
But
all ears English. Yes.
exactly. So, yeah. So, but these are great ways to connect with people and show you're willing to help. Anything else, Lindsay?
Yeah, I mean, keep in mind that reciprocity effect. We know it because it's hardwired into us, like I said. So we want to compensate. When someone has done something, we want to do something else. It's normal,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's not transactional. It's just how human beings function in the world. And so now,
Mm-hmm.
guys, you have the language to do that, whether it's at work, planning a trip with your spouse, or just sharing a carpool with friends in your community. This works for many arenas. So go and
Yeah.
use it. So good.
Perfect.
All
Okay. Well, this was
right.
fun, Lindsay. So, all
Yeah.
right. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Talk soon, Michelle. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.